If you're looking for the latest news, insight into what it means, and the sharpest opinion, there's only one station in Chicago where you can turn, and it's this one. We're AM 560, The Answer.
Top of the morning, Dan, and in for Amy this morning is Chicago Tribune columnist extraordinaire John Cass. And John, Nancy Pelosi was all over the airwaves this weekend. The incoming speaker, people want to get a handle on just what House Democrats will do. All investigation, no legislation, impeachment on the table. And we're not just talking about for Brett Kavanaugh either. Nancy Pelosi said, the election and what they're about, protecting Obamacare.
It's an urgency that I can't resist. I mean, if Hillary Clinton had won, our Affordable Care Act would be protected and I could go home. No one in California ever gets Potomac fever. We always want to go home. But that didn't happen, sadly, for our country. So this is something that I feel that I have, all of my experience is geared to, all of my legislative...
You think you can handle Trump on a regular basis? The way he is, as personal as it can be, as constant as the attacks can be?
I've been the workhorse, and people say, well, you're not a show horse. Well, I have to be a workhorse and a show horse now because I'll be center stage. Mm-hmm. But all of these candidates, all of our incumbents, they'll be taking their message home. The public will see. The public will see what this discussion is about, where we have our agreements and where we have our disagreements and what it means in their lives.
Yeah.
She's really good when nobody pushes back. When you push back, when people push back on her on the occasion, like if Dan Proft, and if we had her on the show right now, she'd sound like, I want to go to the Jell-O. I want to have Jell-O at 4 o'clock.
I think it was Chris Cuomo or Allison Camerata or Don Lemon. I don't know who was interviewing her. They're all the same. But here's the thing. The show horse and workhorse, the best part of that, if you just separate out the Obamacare riff for a second. If Hillary Clinton had won, Nancy Pelosi would have gone home because her work here is done. She's just, been existing for 3 decades in the House.
Just on the chance that she could go home.
And also to, make sure we have government-run health insurance. Here's the thing on the merits of health insurance, and I agree with, by the way, this is one of the best guys on the topic, in addition to our own C.S. Tucker, Robert Lazewski, who has his own blog, Health Policy and Market blog. Has a good post over the weekend what neither the Republicans nor the Democrats understand about Obamacare and about this election. The pre-existing conditions demagoguery that Democrats ran against Republicans, including against Roscoe and Hultgren here successfully, though I don't think that was really the whole thing. But Lazewski argues it was about health insurance security. And that's what Republicans left themselves susceptible to with the repeal and replace that they advanced out of the House and failed in the Senate, thanks to John McCain. But he points out a couple of uncomfortable statistics when it comes to health insurance security and, by extension, health care security. 22% drop in persons covered in the individual health insurance market. The individual health insurance market is shrinking. And it's shrinking at the expense of middle-income families. 47% drop in the last 2 years in families eligible for the subsidies, the insurance subsidies. The Obamacare actually is doing what exactly people like me predicted it would do, which is imploding upon itself because of the costs, premiums and deductibles skyrocketing. So middle-income families getting squeezed. Yes, there's more in coverage technically at the lower end of the socioeconomic scale, but it is at the expense of an individual health insurance market. So it's and the ability to afford health insurance for middle-income families who don't qualify for subsidies, or who qualify for subsidies that just don't cover their nut. I mean, it doesn't make sense because the deductibles and premiums are so high. So the point is that this is just a slow walking government takeover of health insurance that the left wanted from the outset.
It's what Obama knew at the beginning, and so did all of them. It's about hurting people. You hurt them until they start crying. It's costing me too much money. Please, government, help us. Help us. That's how they do it. And that's how you get wild pigs into the corral.
Yeah.
Okay?
Right. They punish you.
Right.
They hurt you, and they say, "Now I'm here to help you."
Right.
But Leszewski has a good point about Republicans being terrible on messaging this, even with some late efforts like by Louisiana Senator Cassidy, who's actually a doctor, medical doctor, real doctor, making the point that every Republican plan, every Republican proposal, including at the state level, cover pre-existing conditions. For more on this topic and so many others, we're pleased to be joined by the First Ladies in Punditry, our friends Diamond and Silk, and the stars, by the way, of this new documentary, Dummycrats, which I think has debuted. Diamond and Silk, thanks for joining us. Appreciate it.
Oh, thank you. Thank you for having us.
When is Dummycrats is out, yes?
Oh, Dummycrats is already out. If
Yeah.
you want to, for the holiday, you can get it on DVD. Go to diamondandsilk.com to find out more details.
All right, there it is, diamondandsilk.com.
What's it about?
Dummycrats.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
It was about exposing the swamp, like the Nancy Pelosi's, the Maxine Waters, the people that sit on their assets and collect a paycheck every month from taxpayers' dollars and don't do nothing for their district. They live in mansions behind picket fences and beautiful vineyards. But the people in their district are living in tents and trash is everywhere. So what we were doing was exposing the hypocrisy is what we were doing, and we were being featured in that movie.
All right, so Diamond and Silk, give us your postmortem on the election. You've got Democrats plus 32 tracking to plus 37 in the House, and maybe only 2 pickups for Republicans in the Senate. Was that a rejection of President Trump?
No, it was not a rejection of President Trump. What that is, it forces the Democrats to come to the table and legislate instead of investigate and stagnate.
That's right.
And if they don't, because they ran on health care, if you don't, then the American people get to see you for who you are, and we can flip those seats. We can flip seats red come 2020. So, no, this was not. Listen, while the Democrats was playing checkers, the president was playing chess, you have to understand 40-some people retired.
And resign,
which left the president at a disadvantage, which left the Republican Party at a disadvantage.
And that's 40-some Republicans,
right,
that resigned.
The president didn't complain. He went on, and he went out there, and he campaigned viciously and hard, and he galvanized and energized the base. And we all got out and voted for him. Now, here's what we're concerned.
Right.
There's something else huge that's going on that we just can't put our finger on. When I see a lot of these races were too close or too close to cause or within the margin of error, something's wrong here. And then when we look at what's happening down in Florida, something is most definitely wrong. And then when we listen to Brenda Snipes, who say, hey, I added in some ballots where I think these were illegal aliens that voted. Well, how do we know you only added in 20 and not added in more? So there's something seriously going on here. And we can't put our finger on it, but we know that we see the art of the steal. And see, now I wake up this morning and I find out a crook want to rerun for president again. So now, how are you all making it easier to cheat? Because I said some cheating went on during this election. And what they're doing is we'll bring them too close to call, and then now that'll garner a recount. And then you'll start this hysteria all across the country and then have everybody questioning the integrity of the election, which is bothersome. And can I just say one more thing? This is not about race, because the left is going to try to make this about race. This is about the left trying to steal an election from the winners who won the race is what this is about. So we got to get to the bottom of this, because I don't like the way this makes me feel, you all. There is something really nasty going on up under the surface.
Listen, I got a question for you. May I ask a question, Diamond?
Come on, ask it.
All right, I hear all that talking about race. I hear talk about how these white suburban women were involved in this election and didn't vote for Trump and voted for the Democrats, or if they didn't vote for Democrats, and those white suburban women were racist. What do you have to say?
Well, if they didn't vote for Democrats, they are being deemed racist. You have them talking about the white men in this country that's racist and making it look like it's something wrong with them. Let me tell you something. Just because you are black and you were the first to be the governor or the first to be this, that doesn't mean you deserve a trophy, okay? If you didn't win it, you didn't win it. I look at what's happening down in Georgia with Abrams. She wants a recount. A recount for what? You did not win it. You wasn't even within the margin of error. Now all of a sudden, mysteriously, ballots are popping up. It's all a bunch of foolishness. She thinks just because Obama and Oprah went down there and campaigned for you, knocked on 2 doors, and then said a little cute speech, that you were supposed to win this. See, this is the stuff, and see, what the left would do is take this here and make this about race. This is not about race. This is about winning an election fairly. If they won it fairly, they won it fairly. Stop. We need a recount. We need a recount because I deserve to win this because I'm going to be the first black governor. Just because you're the first don't make you the best.
Well, now, Diamond and Silk, I have to push back. I mean, not me, somebody that's much.
Well, come on, push back.
Well, I'm enlisting some heavyweight here. This is Michelle Ruiz writing in Vogue, so Vogue has been called. In the Georgia governor's race, 75% of white women, more even than white men, voted for the Republican Brian Kemp, who's passionately pro-life, over Stacey Abrams, a staunch protector of women's reproductive rights, while 97% of black women supported Stacey Abrams. So what is your message to those white women who've obviously sold out their gender?
Hold on, wait a minute. White women did not sell out anything. They voted for the candidate that they wanted to vote for. And shame on Vogue. You see the racial innuendos. You see the putting people against each other. Shame on Vogue. If people, and listen, if I was in Georgia, I would not have voted for Abrams. She sounds like a socialist. Anytime you're telling me that you want to socialize health care, you want socialized medicine, I'm going to look at you because now what you want is the government to control and tell me how long I can live, what kind of medicine I can have, and you are about to create a disaster. So I would have voted against Abrams. I would have went with Kemp. So they voted in their best interest. Why would I want to vote for somebody that's pushing socialistic ideas? You bring somebody like an elitist, like the Oprah Winfrey's down there. Oprah Winfrey lived in California and probably a 10-square-foot mansion behind a picket fence. She ain't got to deal with the sanctuary city around her house. She ain't got to deal with the stuff that goes on in Georgia. People should have woke up and looked at that. But Abrams lost. So why is she advocating for a recount when you lost fair and square? See, there's something else going on here that people need to look at.
Yeah.
When you have us all questioning the integrity of an election because you're creating these shenanigans across the country, we're looking at you.
And just look at it like this. Look at how a lot of Republicans have won their race. Now all of a sudden, all of these ballots mysteriously is coming out of thin air, just popping up from nowhere, being added and being counted, and now certain seats and different races are now being flipped to Democrats.
Mm-hmm.
Something is not right. Something is not right here, and what we got to do is call that out, and we got to investigate that. What's going on here? If the Democrats are so concerned about some type of foreign interference in an election, they should be concerned about illegal aliens' foreign interference in an election. That's what they should be concerned about. But where are the Democrats on that? Where is Mueller investigation on that? Everybody is quiet. They're quiet, just like a mice peeing on cotton.
That's right.
It's nice.
All right. That is quiet, by the way. Diamond and Silk, Diamond and Silk, the first ladies of punditry, hosts of The Viewer's View, and stars of the new documentary Dummycrats, which you can get at diamondandsilk.com. Perfect stocking stuffer. Diamond and Silk, thanks so much for joining us. Appreciate it.
Thank you for having us.
And they joined us on the turnkey.pro install.